It should say on the screen. Boom. All right. Wow. Yeah, folks. So I was going to try to start this tonight at 7:30. Had a series of technical difficulties, but we got past them. And I got with me. Will is my co-host. Will joined the JV football coaching staff for Titusville High, and he texted me and said, "Hey, practice is going late." Anyway, so that's why he's not on yet. So I might switch that order once we. But I got the intro and the shoot the shit stuff, so that'll take a while anyway. So, and then yeah, so this is Marshall Ostovich. Marshall,
what's happening?
Yeah, there you go. I got it. Oh, this is perfect now. This is Marshall. Marshall is a drummer in 2 bands in Brevard County, and I've seen them both more than once.
You have?
Yeah. So this is the title of episode 25 is kind of a Rockville debrief, and then an interview with you. So cool. Also, Pete Martin, buddy guitar Pete Martin. I'm pulling him in to play. Marshall, it's fun as crap. I pick a song. So I picked one from Turnstile that opened for the Foo Fighters, right? And I said, Pete, I've got to know what the chordal situation, the chordal structure of the first third of the song, the intro. And I fell in love with Turnstile. I'd never heard of them in my life. And it was Offspring, then Turnstile, then Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl was the headliner. And I'd never heard of these guys ever. And I'm like, oh my God, this is fantastic. So we'll talk about it in the Rockville section. But Pete's gonna do he'll tell us the chords on his guitar with the intro of a Turnstile song. So.
Yeah, I love finding new bands live. You go to see one band and you find the opener and they're awesome.
Yeah, right. It's happened to me before. Earth Day Birthday 2016. There was this trio called Sick Puppies, and I'd seen the name before, but I'd never heard them. But because that name, like you see that name and you kind of remember it, right? And I didn't have a clue what they sounded like. So I go over to the B stage at Earth Day Birthday, and they're on at like 2 PM or something. And man, I've been a Sick Puppies fan since,
Nice.
And so Marshall, I picked Friday. One of the reasons I picked Friday for Rockville was Sick Puppies were playing. It was Sick Puppies, and I wanted to see Static X and Seven Dust. There was a 2.5 hour rain delay in the Rockville Friday. And Seven Dust and Static X didn't go on, and super bummed. But what we ended up seeing when they did get it going again blew my mind, including Turnstile and Offspring, Foo Fighters.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think this is the best. Your voice is down here. I got 2 microphones. Can you talk, please?
Yeah. Check 1, 2.
Okay, I think they're the same. The mics are the same on top and bottom. I'm pretty sure, but they look different. But so anyway, Rockville 2026. And in the introduction, we're going to debrief Rockville. The bands Pete and I saw. I'm sorry, Will and I saw. Will, the co-host of the show, who's obviously not present. He's delayed with coaching football, but practice went late, so he'll be here. And I got 3 viewers, man. This might be cool. And I told Becky she's got when we get to your interview part, she can do it. She's on the phone, so when she gets off, I'll have her come and give you a shout out. You there, Pete? Pete, are you there? Okay. Well, that's annoying. Pete, I'll bring you in when it's ready, or sooner than that. But I'll bring you in. I sent you the link. I sent Pete the link.
I
in
think you
email.
hung up on me. Can you hear me? I think you hung up on me.
All right. So that was the intro. It's usually a lot better when Will's here, Marshall, because he's so freaking funny and he cracks me up like the entire time. So he's definitely that element, and boy, it probably just as well. It'll go faster, but he should be joining us probably in, I don't know. He said he was going to try to get in on his phone. So
you just hung up the phone.
But all right, so that was the intro, and for shoot the shit section. What I wanted to say was there's so the show's coming up. The show's coming up. Excuse me, coming up. And that is Pete, and he's just Pete.
No,
what the fuck you doing? Hey, I can't really talk,
me.
dude.
It's me.
Who is it? Oh,
it's
shit.
Marshall. You hung up.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
That's all right.
I hung up on Marshall. I'm sorry. I thought it was Pete. Pete had called too, and I didn't grab it. So okay, sorry. Sorry about that. So perfect timing. What for the housekeeping stuff and shows and dates for future episodes. Today we're doing what you just heard for the intro. On the 20th, I'm gonna try to interview my brother. And Marshall, my brother, I've told the story 100 times on this thing, but in a nutshell, he was 7 years older, and he was getting Beatle records when I was 5 and 6 years old, and you know where that went, and boom, and he progressed. So he would just continually progress through music and go on to the next thing and go on to the next thing. Well, he would throw me albums, and then eventually we had bedrooms side by side. So he would here, listen to this. Marshall, get this. Love this drummer reference and band reference. All the World's a Stage, Rush live. I was in 10th grade, and he said, "Phil, check this one out. You'll love it." And it was the first time I heard Rush. Yeah, but cool.
It's interesting. I have a similar story. My brother was 4 years older, and he was a forward fan of Vietnam music.
Yeah.
And my first Rush as well. I was looking for an album to buy, and Moving Pictures just come out. He said, "You're a drummer. You'll love Neil." And I got the album. I've been a huge fan ever since.
Wow.
Older brothers steering us right.
Same. Yeah, exact story. It's fantastic. Plus, I was the only one. So I work on Osceola High School, Kissimmee Cowboys, right? You're familiar? Right. I was the only one that knew who Rush was at first. Literally. There could have been somebody else that I maybe didn't know or something. But of the people I knew, none, including all the band people, I turned the band, the rockers in the band onto Rush. The whole drum, the whole drum line section.
Yeah, I mean, All the World's a Stage, just 76.
Yeah.
They weren't big yet.
Yeah. It was. It might have been my freshman year, and that would be 76 for me. Wow. Yeah, super. And so Marshall, the big part of this episode really is interviewing Marshall on here, Marshall Ostovich, and he's a drummer in 2 bands. And I didn't really cover that in the intro. I should have. So let's drop into that. Marshall, you're a drummer in a cover band called Risk.
Risk with a Y. We're from the 80s.
And the songs they play. So Risks It's kind of an extension from the intro, really. But no, it's part of the shoot the shit section. And prior to you telling us your story, and he's in the cover band Risk, but their covers are like 80s and 90s shit. And I mean, they'll do like, I don't know if you do Quiet Riot, but they'll do songs like, but then a lot of cool, name a couple of like the danceable songs that were big. You guys do.
Boy, God, I should have pulled up a set list.
Oh yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Just the coolest covers they'll do, and they'll try to. Don't you do Scorpions one? I was like, couldn't wait to hear the Scorpions.
Scorpions, and Def Leppard, and Dokken.
Yes. Just the band names, really, for people. Oh man! So everything he just said there, I've heard. I have maybe heard every song they've done, but I've seen them. I've seen Risk twice, and last time at Pintos was. I love Pintos, man, and
it's a rock and roll bar.
Yeah.
So some gigs we play, you know, you can leave out the Dokken or the Godsmack, but at Pintos, they want it.
Godsmack. So I have to confess, if you did a Godsmack tune, when I've seen you the 2 times, I'm so unfamiliar with them. I wouldn't know Godsmack really. I've heard him on 101.1. So
we do like People Way and Bad Religion.
No shit.
They kind of get right into each other.
Wow. And the players in Risk, that's part of the main interview. So we'll stop. But the other band Marshall's in is kind of my favorite. It's an original. They're all original songs that they perform. In a band called Somebody's Hero.
Yep.
And man, I love that band. And I've told Darren, like, 8 times what a great fucking singer he is. I'm like, how? And you guys all joke going, don't tell him that. His head.
Well, they already have lead singer syndrome. So you got to go easy.
But I'm here to say, and I told Glenn this, or I told Darren this. I said, and I've told him more than once, I said, your voice. So in Marshall, I connected the dots, I think, during the Pinto show that was Risk. So the last time I saw Somebody's Hero, I connected the dots, a light bulb went on, and I said, this guy could sub for, Halford. This guy could sub for the fucking Judas Priest lead singer, and it took me that long to get that. But
he's a great singer, great power.
Yeah, it's
good rock and roll voice.
Yeah, just a great rock and roll voice, and his range is it's beyond, it's above tenor. Yeah,
and his stage persona. He takes command up there.
He does. So anybody, I'm going to ask you and tell you, and my Facebook friends also, I post when those guys are playing Somebody's Hero and Risk, because I posted the last one when I went to Pintos. But man, go see Somebody's Hero. Do yourself a favor, man. It is like, and I've yet to do. And one of the things I mentioned is, other than like ticket bands where they're traveling a circuit kind of, or coming from California and they play some of the clubs there around the beach and stuff. You'll buy a ticket then, but I have yet to pay in a bar to see all of these bands, Carolyn's, Dawn Patrol, and you guys. And I just got turned on to Element 7, which blew my freaking mind. All of them. You see this music locally and you're like, holy shit, man. You can
Brevard County's always had great local music.
Yeah.
Since the 80s.
Marshall, you're right. Since the 80s, because when I interviewed Stan Soloco, he goes, yeah, we were doing this back in the late 60s and 70s in Brevard. Yeah. I said, but I said Stan, when was this exactly the start? And he goes, and there was a guy named Bobby Rock. And he goes, Bobby Rock was the big name for like over a decade. And he took off to Nashville, I think. But, and Stan Stan moved around. Stan spent some time in Nashville, and he spent out some time out in Vegas. And he did it in Marshall. He spent over a year and a half of his life on cruise ships. Yeah, Stan was the man. You know, I technically I thought he was the best drummer in Brevard probably since I saw him with Dave Mundy when they had that 3-piece band, and they had just come off a cruise ship. The first time I saw them, it was around the Cocoa Beach Pier area. Yeah, I remember him from that. But he's a killer jazz. You know, he's mainly jazzer. So, but boy, he's good. And boy, hey, I'm gonna figure out what episode that is after this, and I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna send it to you. And he tells a story of in San Francisco, and that you got to hear that story. They get hired from the Cocoa Beach area. They get hired to play this hotel in Frisco. And the year was, he said the year, I don't remember the year. Hey, baby, can you pop in and say hi? Yeah. Guess who's, hang on.
Hi, Marshall.
Hey, Becky, how are you?
It's good to see you, hon.
You
Rock
too.
on. Rock on.
Okay, cool. Thanks, babe. I just wanted you to say hi to your friend. Your
I would always say hi to Marshall.
Your high school. So how I knew Marshall before I've ever saw his bands was they went to Satellite High together, and I think they graduated together because I've seen Marshall at a couple of reunions.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So I knew Marshall prior to seeing him. And I, you know, dude, I'm like, there's no reason, but at the time I wasn't going out a lot to see bands like on a regular basis, like I am now. I've seen, I'll say it later, but, and they'll shoot the shit there. But, anyway, go see Somebody's Hero. I'm telling you,
and check us out on YouTube or all your favorite streaming services. Just search Somebody's Hero.
Nice. And I checked you out on YouTube, and it's really cool. Yeah. And yeah. Any gigs coming up on either band?
Risk is at
this is it, folks. You're hearing
it. It's June 26th. We're at Earl's Hideaway. And Somebody's Hero, we're in the studio finishing up a couple songs.
Wow. Hey, we'll come back to that. I want to hear detail about your recording experience. The only other person I've had on that could tell stories about recording is my drummer friend. That's the episode you got to see. You got forget Stan. you got to see Park Hill. You got to see my interview with Park Hill. A childhood friends since we were like 11 and 12. Our dads played music together at Disney World. That's how we met.
Wow.
Yeah. And Park was learning. Park had a set, and his dad was teaching him since he was like 7.
What did your dad play?
Upright bass.
Nice.
Upright bass. But one day you'll come to the house, because I do jam about twice a year, and I'll invite you, and you get to see my dad's electric Ampeg stand-up bass.
Very nice.
It's cool as shit. Solid body. Sting has one.
Right.
Among and then his other 89 versions of basses, but yeah, cool. So, but Park. So he was the only one that came. I'm sorry, didn't come close. He was the only one I knew that ever recorded like professionally.
Right.
In Altamont, the Springs and stuff. There's studios there, and they recorded. His band Heart Attack Diner recorded. It was
I remember that.
Do you really? I Did we talk about that or something?
I don't think so, but I remember him.
Yeah, Heart Attack Diner. Park's the drummer. It's Park Hill.
All right.
Yeah. And they recorded with Heart Attack Diner. It was a cassette, and I still have the cassette. It's out on in the big the room outside here. But then he did this pro recording with the fusion band. He's in a fusion band called League of Nations with Scott Henson, guitarist at Scott's band, and Park was a drummer shortly after they started. And I saw those guys before Park joined. Marshall, you'll love this reference. And I got some doozies, man. They trickle out. Before Park joined League of Nations, they opened for Eric Johnson, and I went over and saw when the Aviv Musicom came out, and saw Eric Johnson after that record in the 93-ish time frame probably, and Park's band opened for him. It was fucking unreal.
Oh,
yeah, it was unreal. And the band they opened for, Marshall would get a kick out of this, is the Dixie Dregs reunion.
Oh, love them.
Dixie Dregs reunion. They didn't do stuff for a long time and they got back together like 20 years later or something, or 10 years, 15 to 12 years later, and Park's band opened in Orlando for them. It was killer. It's fucking killer. But anyway,
Rod Morgenstein on drums.
Rod Morgenstein, and I can tend to go on and start because he played Premier set and Park played Premier, but Morgenstein's drums were like a version of Neil Peart's basically.
Right.
Yeah, but they were great. I've seen some. We'll have to chat sometime about some of the bands I've seen, and I would like to hear about some of the bands you saw. But me and my buddies all went through the period where Lakeland Civic Center had all the fucking rock bands and went over there, much like yourself, I'm sure, and we'd go over. So those stories are endless. I've told a bunch on these podcasts, but yeah. So anyway,
we still today, and when the band does a big ending, and you crash, we always say, "Thank you, Lakeland."
That's fantastic. Marshall, that's fantastic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because thank you, Lakeland. Because then I've talked about, I did a whole show on Heart, and we saw Heart there in 81, Baby Lestrange. So I'm about 6 years ahead of you guys, age-wise. So 81 is a Baby Lestrange tour in Lakeland Civic Center, and we got almost to the stage. I think we were like 5 feet from the stage, and it was old school where there's no
general admission.
General admission, and there's no space in between the people and the stage.
Right.
And the people writing it, and Jeff Beck saw that same year. Our arms were on the stage in front of Jeff Beck on the There and Back tour with Simon Phillips. He Marshall, after that, he just instantly he became my favorite drummer and has been ever since. Yeah. And
he's great.
Hey, so this is Shoot the Shit section. We'll back out, and then we'll see if Will's coming on. Hopefully that son of a bitch better come on. But this is going well, so it's okay. But yeah. Simon Phillips has got a new Shoot the Shit section. Simon Phillips has got a new project out. He's playing drums for this fusion band with vocals, and they're called they're called Darwin. So hey, check out Darwin on YouTube and get some speakers behind it. And there's a song called Distorted Mirror. Just check that out, and you'll go. I've already I just on commenting on the video. Of course, these people would never see it typically, but some of them would, and some of them do. I wrote and said, Simon, are you guys going to tour with this? And and I think I don't know. I forget if they didn't respond to me, but they said they had dates in Europe. I think was the deal. Yeah. So yeah, check them out. Darwin. It's a D, capital D, and a capital W, all in one word. Yeah, it's cool as shit. But and he's just better than ever. Oh, here's another thing with Simon. This is a great bit here for drummers, man. You're a drummer. So Marshall's an awesome drummer and a great drummer. And I'm like kind of half-assed drummer. I was real good back in I was good back in the late 90s, from 95 to 2000. Those were my heydays. And I got decent, but I was still never like I was never power drummer like you are, and never quite as good as that.
Well, I've been doing it a long time.
And we're gonna get to that in the interview. So let me wrap up with not wrap up, but in the housekeeping area. This episode, May 20th, I'm gonna try to interview my brother Bill Thomas, Bud Thomas. And the biggest influence for me for music, period. And I've said it, a dozen times on this show, but on these episodes. If Bud can't do it on the 20th, so here's the clincher, and I wanted to announce this to folks. Let me see if I got comments because we can tell who might be on. Ask them, hey, whoever's on, let me know in the comments if you can hear Marshall okay, because I'm having to do it via the phone to the mic, but I can tell it's way better than it had been in the past. But technically I don't know. All right, Jorge and Mitch. We got Mitch Hines, Pete Guitar, Martin. Pete, I'm going to bring you in sooner than later, but it's not yet. Hey, Pete, also we're going to do Marshall's interview first and then the Rockville stuff. Pete, Martin. So, but I'm reversing it, the order, because Will's not on and Will's driving home to Palm Bay to get on. So I'm going to reverse. So just hang in there. You're fine. I'll pull you in. I'll try to fill what's up. Just signed on, but not ready yet. Good. So Pete, we're going to do Marshall's interview first. So it won't be for another 30, 40 minutes, probably 40. So hang in there. Very cool. Okay. They can seem to hear. And Jorge said, so we have coworkers that pop on. They're our most frequent viewers in live. Jorge is on. This son of a bitch is something else. Anyway, he's great, and all those guys are great. Will and Joey, I got to give a shout out to Joey, of course. And Will is absent. He's got a demerit for being absent. All right. What may happen? Well, I take it back. I know it will happen. Before we get into there's a couple of bullets I just wanted to mention. For that was that one, the orders. Anyway, long story short, Marshall, I always intended to. It was an idea that popped up about 4 or 5 episodes ago. For the big ones, the 25th and the 50th, my Joey figured it out. Said, "Dude, you should do like something big for the 25th and the 30th, like milestones." And I've been planning to do Led Zeppelin for the 25th, and boy, I can't wait for that. I could do a Zeppelin thing without any note sheets and stuff. you could too. I know you could too. So, but here's what happened. You guess instead of Zeppelin, guess who we're doing on the 25th episode? Your interview.
It's Led Zeppelin or me?
It was Zeppelin or Marshall and his 2 bands. So yeah, it's a distinct honor. So I realized that's what I wanted to do, but it wasn't practical because we wanted to do this because we were going to do you last week. So I say, hey, we'll do Marshall on the 25th. If Bud can do next week, it'll be my brother. But if Bud can't do it, I'll be doing Led Zeppelin for the 26th. But for the 26th episode, but I'm going to call it episode 25.5.
There you go.
Yeah, it's true. So that's that. That's the order of things. I had some. What's weird is I had some notes. Hang on for a second. I had some bullets to Pete. I can't talk. I had some bullets but essentially we'll just ad lib anything else on that. So let me just do a briefing of what will come after Marshall's interview, and then we can get into that. It's about the bands Will and I saw at Rockville, and I went Friday. We both went Friday, and then him and his buddy Anthony. Excuse me. Shout out to Anthony. What a cool MFer that guy is. He was cool as shit. And he came up for Will's birthday, and they went. And it was it was Rockville this past weekend, and oh my gosh! So we were going to debrief the bands we saw, and so I'll be doing that after your interview, Marshall. So Pete, that's why I don't have to sign you in yet. You're probably having a problem with the link or something, obviously, or you'd pop up. But I'll get you. I'll pull you in. But yours won't be till we get to the Rockville section. So after Marshall's thing. So probably another 30 minutes or so. So you're not holding anything up. All right. He's hearing that. He called again, and yeah. All I can say is so, and I'll just and we'll get back to the details of that. But Marshall, it was the single coolest, best day musically I've ever experienced. It's the level of just how the aesthetic and the presentation of those big stages spread out in the infield of the Daytona Speedway. I'm walking on tarmac. I'm walking on the infield road course. Right. On sections of the racetrack that I've never walked on before.
This was your first Rockville?
Yeah. Nice. Oh my gosh. So all I can say is it was a life-changing experience musically for me. It bordered on a religious experience. I teared up. I cried 2 or 3 times, 2 different bands. When I saw Sick Puppies, I teared up twice. Seeing them, I hadn't seen Emma Anzai play bass in for years, and I hadn't seen that band in years. I've been watching their Rockville set from the last time they were there. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, and of course I didn't make that. But anyway, so let's just suffice it to say, I'll just throw out a couple names, and then we'll go down to your thing. It was I wanted to see Dope, Edsel Dope, and Dope is the lead frontman for Static X. Static X, and it was a bummer. Static X and Seven Dust got so there was a 2.5 hour rain and lightning delay, so they shut the whole thing down, and for 2.5 hours. So most people just left, and they said, "We'll keep you posted. We're hopefully going to get this going again." And that was from like 6:15 till like 8:30, 8:45. We went back to their hotel and hung out and drank beers and stuff and hosed off because we were soaked and it's pretty dirty out there when if you get wet. But we went back and chilled, and they had a beachfront hotel room. And turns out Will knows how to do it right. So we'll talk about that more in detail. But went back. They said, come back. there'll be other bands playing, but on the main stage will be Offspring, and then it'll be Turnstile, and then it'll be Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters. And of course, we're all there to see all of these guys, and that's what they did. And then we heard it all. And on my way out, Marshall, the other band I wanted to see was Zach Sabbath, Zakk Wylde doing Zach Sabbath. They were there. Well, I lost track of them because of the rain delay, and we were kind of going to stay on the main stage, so I didn't even pay attention. So I decided, like at the end of the Foo Fighters, there was they were still playing, and the quote from frickin' Dave Grohl. Oh my God, I'll say for that section, but I just said, hey, I'm gonna drive back. I was originally planning to stay with them. I brought a sleeping bag and a pillow, but I was like, I'm in decent shape here. I'm just gonna drive back, and on my way out, so Foo Fighters are doing their set, and that it's such a distance from, it's like 3/4 of a mile from where he is to where these other stages are at the entrance of the speedway there, where you walk across the track to get inside. And on the left was the first stage you see when you come in. On the right. If you're coming in, it was on the right. It was on my left. I was leaving. I look over. I'm walking, and I hadn't hit the gate yet to go through. It wouldn't matter, but because eventually you can't see anymore from the structure stuff, from the stand stuff. Look over as I'm walking, and it's Zakk Wylde, and they're doing Black Sabbath songs, and I go, holy shit, it's Zakk Sabbath. So Marshall, is so cool. So I go, holy shit, I stopped dead in my tracks, and I just took a left and started walking into where that stage is.
Right.
Yeah. And they were in the middle to the end of one of the Sabbath tunes. So Zakk Sabbath is Zakk Wylde doing all Zack's Black Sabbath song. It's fucking fantastic. And just go on YouTube and pull it up and watch a video of Zakk Sabbath, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But so they finished that song they were in midstream of, and they go into Fairies. So it was towards the end of his set, I'm sure. They do Fairies Wear Boots, and that's my favorite Black Sabbath song. And I'm like, yeah. I go, oh my God, I just look up, and I'm like, the big guy's got to be looking out for this here, I'm doing the Catholic, like, oh my God. And it sounded that's the Rock and Roll section. Anyway, more to come, and there's a lot of good stuff about that stuff. So, what I was going to say a little bit earlier is I have to take a restroom break, at least once during the show, and usually Will's on and he talks. So this is that moment. So I might let you let's set it up where you could start talking rather than just sit here and wait for me. Would you, so I haven't talked about this. See, I just said, hey, I want to interview you. And he goes, yeah, I'd love to do it. And plug your bands. And so whatever order, think about what order if you want to start back in the high school days and your first band and stuff. I'd like to hear that, but if I miss 2 or 3 minutes of it, I can get back and watch it in the morning. So, yeah. Or talk about your bands now. What order would you like to go?
Yeah, I mean, however you want to do it. I can certainly start from the beginning.
So I don't just you probably get the impression already. I don't just let the guy go and go, okay, talk for 30 minutes. So I would typically, let me see. So Satellite High School, probably some junior high day action, I would guess. And then, but high school, where did it start?
Yeah, well, back to our brothers.
Yeah.
It was mid-70s, Kiss.
Shit, yeah.
So my brother
Yeah.
played guitar, and he was Ace Frehley.
Oh
We had two neighbors. One liked to be Paul Stanley, the other was Gene Simmons, and they needed a fourth. So my brother said, "You're Peter Criss." Okay.
You were the de facto drummer.
De facto drummer. So when Mom said, "Do you want to play an instrument?" I said, "Well, I'm Peter Criss. I got to play the drums."
that is so cool, man. Because it
So
could
I've been
have,
the drummer ever since.
yeah, it could have gone another way, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that's such a great story. That's cool.
And then, you know, out of seventh grade, forming little bands with friends. And then that was in Nebraska. And my dad retired from the Air Force, and we moved here to Florida.
Nebraska.
And my brother had just graduated high school. I'm in ninth grade. And he was in a band, and their drummer quit. And he said, "I got a drummer."
Yeah.
And he used to come to junior high. I had a dentist appointment to take me to band practice. So I was in a band, you know, I'm 14.
Yeah.
And they're all 19 and 20.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while.
Wow. 14. So Marshall started playing kind of set with bands at 14. Wow.
Yeah, 12, 13, and then really more serious at 14.
Gotcha.
And interestingly, my brother and I met Jeff Crowder when I was 15, and he's the guitar player in Risk today.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. And I talked to him. I talked to him at Pinto's for the first time.
Right.
I've never talked to him before, but go ahead.
And there's actually video of us as Risk in 1987 at Brassey's. And it's Jeff and I.
Yeah.
And it's Darren on vocals.
Darren.
He's from Somebody's Hero.
Yeah.
And he was singing with us back then.
Wow. So explain that these guys you're in these bands with, and you just alluded to it, and you just said it really. You guys all went to school since like junior high / high school days.
Yeah, high school. That's what I met Jeff.
Yeah.
Right by the locker, we kind of looked at you play guitar. Yeah, you play drums. Yeah. So, you know, you meet up, and we've been playing together, Jeff and I. Boy, I mean, we took breaks here and there, but we toured around to the late 80s and 90s. We were trying to be rock stars. That was the plan. We're Modern Man, which if you can see this poster, that's our Modern Man flyer from back in the day. And we actually toured around on the circuit for a while. Did all the way up from Key West to up North Carolina. So we did that for about 6 months to a year. And wrote a lot of original stuff. Of course, trying to get signed, which of course didn't happen. But you never quit playing. And Jeff and I still playing in Risk today. And Darren, we're still playing in Somebody's Hero. So you make those connections young and still doing them today. And Jeff was always the songwriter. He's got that magic talent of writing great stuff. He still writes today. We have recorded a bunch of stuff as Modern Man. I don't know. None of that was really released. I think there's stuff on YouTube. I'd have to dig all that old stuff up. But we did some old videos. In fact, we did videos with Full Sail Music in Orlando because they needed bands to train their people. So you could do free recording, free live stuff, free videos on top of the line equipment, which was nice to have. I think Phil's beer finally got to him.
All right. Hopefully you're.
Oh, he's got wine and beer.
Yeah.
Give me some.
I'll keep the bottle. You can take your glass. Oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Yeah, okay. I just kind of running over how Jeff and I, Modern Man, toured around.
Yeah, run around, getting a little trouble. Did you guys have long hair?
Oh,
you show a picture.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I do. I think. Oh wait. Yeah. Hold on. Let me grab one.
Take your time. Take your time. Grab a picture. Perfect. Yeah, folks. Marshall's the real deal, man. I'm here to tell you. You know, his two bands in Brevard. You know, until I saw Element 7, I'm like, I don't know if there's anybody better than these guys in Brevard for what they do. And especially somebody's here, both of them, because they're so unique in their own ways. So you got to go see their bands, man. They play.
Look at that funny looking guy.
That's you.
That's me.
Is that high school?
Jeff.
Wow, look at that.
That is maybe a year or two out of high school.
Yeah. That was like your promo shot there and stuff.
Yeah, that was it.
Wow. Cool as hell. I figured you guys did. Man, that's cool as hell, dude. That's cool. But again, go see their bands and we'll get back into where we left off. But and then you guys forming there were, I'm sure, bands before the two you're in now and some variation and with most of the same players. But again, they're all caliber playing wise as musicians. Each one of them. Steve, you're a guitarist, man. I fucking love Steve and somebody's hero, and he plays bass on the band Risk.
Yeah.
Exactly. Steve is badass, man. I would put each of the players up against almost anybody else in the county that I'm familiar with. Up again as players, you guys are equal to the best.
And Steve, I was saying while you were away, Jeff Brown from Risk, he wrote the Modern Man original stuff, and he's a phenomenal writer.
Wow.
And so is Steve Harvey. They both have I call it the magic. You can just make a song that hooks you. Mm-hmm. They can both do it. It's amazing.
That's wow, Marshall. That is so cool. But yeah, go see them, especially musicians. If there's any musicians that see this local, Pete, you got to see both of these guys. I took you to one of them, but Pete was going to meet me at Pinto's, and we got separated, and he couldn't make it. But we were just going to try to get whatever we're going to do, but he didn't make it for Risk. But he'll see both of you guys.
I hope so.
Yeah. And I've already brought I brought Braden. So a lot of times Braden, he's one of there's this whole gaggle of youngsters at work that hired in the last year and a half, and Will, Joey, Braden, and then some of the gals and blah blah blah. Well, they'll call in, but I took Braden when you guys, I think, were somebody's hero at Dunes or something. I brought Braden, and he was like, "Holy shit, man! What?"
Yeah, with somebody's hero, you're right. We come out, we're a local band, but we're pretty bombastic.
Yeah, bombastic. That does, and we're going to talk about the some of that detail. So, did you leave off with? I don't know exactly where you left off when. And let's do a interlude of "Show Your Shirt." So we do "Show Your Shirt" because you got something on.
Oh, I got something stupid on. I got Born on the Space Coast.
Hey,
which I wasn't. It's a lie.
It was Nebraska.
Well, My dad was in the Air Force. I was born in Maryland. We went to Nebraska, Alabama, Michigan, back to Nebraska.
Yeah.
And then he retired here.
Wow.
And I remember I was pissed because in Omaha, all the big rock bands came through. So you could see all the concerts.
Yeah.
And then he said, we're moving to Melbourne, Florida. And I'm looking on the map like, there's no concerts in Melbourne. But then I heard about Lakeland
Civic Center. Where we all
that's where Ace Frehley got electrocuted, which caused them to write the song Shock Me. Was Lakeland, Florida.
Marshall, I saw that when my brother took me. I saw Kiss 3 times back. I had to share this with you. I was going to say it, but I just didn't say it when you mentioned them. Bud took me my first time to see Kiss. It was the Eddie Graham Sports Stadium on East 50 in Orlando. In Eddie Graham Sports Stadium, believe it or not, Led Zeppelin played there in like 71 or 72. Zeppelin played that place where they hold the pro wrestling matches. But nobody saw that. I've talked to 2 people in my life that saw that. And anytime I find anybody that's seen Led Zeppelin live, I talk to them and say, tell me about it, please. Whatever you remember.
Right.
And but I saw Kiss. That was my first concert. It was like Blue Oyster Cult and Uriah Heep opening up for Kiss.
Remember what year?
Bud was listening to him in 75. So I think I went with him his first time because he wanted to bring somebody. So I think I went to that first time he saw them at Eddie Graham Sports Stadium. So it was 75, 76.
Was it the Destroyer tour?
Or
the one for Dress to Kill?
Before. I think it's before.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
I only remember, and of course then shortly thereafter I started getting the records, and then I knew, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about that one. That's a good point. But anyway, and then Lakeland. So we go to Lakeland, and there's the deal. We're watching. And it was Detroit Rock City, I think. It was like the opening number. And Ace is up on a high-rise set.
Walking down the stairs.
Yeah, stairs to the little platform, kind of above the PAs, the giant those old bins, those giant front ends they had at Lakeland. Oh, my God. Hearing wise, so Bud and I would typically always be to the right side of the stage. General admission standing is kind of as close as we could get, like everybody wants to, and that was our MO. Well, my right ear, it was at times it was like it definitely, but I've been fortunate. I didn't have a lot of hearing loss, and maybe I was young and their ears could take it or something, but. I would have been, let me see. I'm trying to think what grade I was in for the Lakeland show.
But you were at the show where Ace passed out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It gets close to his solo and the spotlight goes on him, and this happened. I saw it. The spotlight goes on him and he collapses. And there's no solo. Detroit Rock City. Right. However it goes. And too bad Steve's not here. He can play it for us. But yeah. And they
the show stopped, didn't it?
They look up and they do stop. They did stop. They kept playing for a bit and then they stopped. And the lights, it was a freaky thing. And then, so long story short, there's one theory out there, Marshall. I don't want to burst a bubble, but it's only a theory, or it's something that's been said that that was staged, and but anyway, long story short, whatever occurred, he was on the ground up top on the edge of that, toward the stairs of that platform, and they stopped and they kind of resuscitated. If you got hit by power, it's got to be. Well, I don't know what's up there. What would be up there if he's up there? It's the control voltage. Yeah,
he's electrified, and when he touched the railing, he wasn't grounded, and
he was the ground.
Right,
he was the ground. Hey, you'll love this reference. We do quotes sometimes, and especially our chief engineer Ted Adams. He has like great quotes. And Will was in a meeting, one of the review meetings, IERB. It's the internal engineering review board, and it's the LX NASA guys, the program guys, and the NE chief engineers, all the disciplines covered. And where the fuck was I going with that? Oh, so Will sat. It was Will's a giant skid they're designing for cooling, for Orion cooling, and in the discussion, Will sat through this, and he wrote, because he knows I love quotes, and I keep them. I collect them on Post-its, and I have a bunch of them. But Ted said, "Yeah, we don't want anybody to become the ground."
Right.
So poor Ace. So he was resuscitated. They were down just for barely 5 minutes, and boom, they got back going. And boy, the crowd went nuts.
Nice.
Crowd went nuts. But yeah.
And we got the song "Shock Me" out of it.
Shock Me. Oh my gosh. So I tend to believe it was because we were there, and I tend to believe it was real. And that's all I can say. If you were there, you would have gone, "Hey, it's the only conclusion I can draw here."
That's amazing. You were at that famous event in history.
It was. Bud took me. That was the second time I saw him. And then I think we went back to see him a third time, a little vague on the third time. But yeah. So we segued totally into KISS. But so fantastic stories. And I'm so glad you loved them, and like I did. And my early skateboarding days was KISS. And then we went from KISS to Boston to Aerosmith to Zeppelin when we were our skateboarding days in the 70s. It was cool as shit. But so you wherever you left off, and then was there what other significant bands were you in prior to us talking about Risk and Somebody's Hero?
Yeah, well, I talked about Modern Man, which you can see my little poster here.
Yeah.
So that was my band in the late 80s, early 90s. Where the funny pictures from. You can see Modern Man there.
Gotcha. Wow, Modern Man.
So, yeah. We toured around, again, from Key West up to North Carolina and everywhere in between. Doing covers.
Did you really? You traveled?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Marshall, perfect segue here. Tell me about some of these travels, because I never knew that. Where'd you go?
I loved it. Key West was great. Dirty Harry's. You play 2 weeks there. And it's Tuesday through Saturday, I think. And you have Sunday, Monday off, and then you stay and did it again.
No shit.
You're living in Key West there.
Well,
there was a band room.
Yeah.
But of course, the best strategy was to find a girl for the week.
Sure.
And then just live at her place. And so you don't stay in the band room.
Will is missing this. Wow. I never knew that. I had no clue that you guys had done, travel.
And it gets in the Southeast.
Yeah.
We got up to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
But of course, we were doing original music,
Gotcha.
which is, trying to get signed, and we're going to make it, man. It's funny, if you ever watch Decline of Western Civilization, you've seen that movie, and you watch all the young people, and they say, well, what if you don't make it? Well, I'm gonna. That was everybody. Well, I'm gonna. You haven't heard it. We're gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was our attitude too. But of course, very few did.
Right. I would say you did it and you made it. If you did those type of that type of kind of touring in a sense, kind of an A circuit band thing. If you're a house band down in Key West for 2 weeks, dude, that's cool as shit. That's the kind of stuff Park and them did, and they recorded and you recorded. So you're really kind of at the equal level. Park's shit rose to just he was in Orlando and you were over here.
Right.
Wow. Add stage. We got Peter Martin. So Pete, I'll just hang tight. Cool. I got you, man. Gotcha. Wow, dude, that's killer. And exactly. Park has a similar story, and he goes, yeah, you try to meet a local. They did a place. I won't go into that because it's on that interview. You can listen. You can watch that. You really need to see that. They were 6 weeks somewhere. They were 6 weeks in Cancun, Mexico. And he said, Park had to quit his job to go. He asked for like a leave of absence.
Right, and they wouldn't do it.
He was running presses for printing, and they said, so he's a laborer at that point.
Right.
And they said, sorry, dude. So he
can't lose you for a month and a half.
He quit. And he said you would try to meet a couple gals and then a couple of the guys in the band and like stay with them for several weeks,
Exactly.
Yeah, but they still had the hotel room thing, and he retreat anyway. He did that similar, but the stand wasn't quite so wide because I'm hitting some of these buttons. But anyway, so Pete's he's hanging out. Good. Okay, so that was then after high school. You're 20, 20th,
early 20s.
Gotcha. Your early 20s. Now, you guys are not, we don't give away ages and other than our names, no, but you guys are 6 years younger than me, and I'm 63. So you're talking in your 20s. That's cool as shit, man. That's really cool. I never knew. So folks, this is no surprise. I've never talked to Marshall about these type of details, right? I just go see him live and you chat for 10 minutes and then, that's all you can get.
I did tell you the story about the keg party in high school because I remember I said, I don't think Becky would have gone. Right. But we had a practice spot, and our guitar player at the time, his dad owned a warehouse, big. And there was like a trailer stuck on the side with carpeting and air conditioning, and that's where we rehearsed. And on break, we'd go to that big open warehouse and be like, boy, this would be great for a concert, wouldn't it? It's huge. And then we said, well, why not? So we got 5 kegs. It threw the biggest party of the year.
Oh,
and
man.
There were so many people. Our singer at the time said, I'm not going on.
Oh my
he just got stage fright.
Oh my God.
So we had to make do. And we're playing and we're having a great time. It was just like you always dream of. Next thing I know, a fireman walks by.
Yeah.
I'm like, what a great party we're putting on, this fireman here.
Fire code.
Out, we broke fire code. The next thing you know, police are there, firemen are running people out, and we had charged everyone like, I think $5 to get in.
Yeah, to pay help.
Because you got all the beer you wanted.
Pay for the kegs. Yeah.
They throw everyone out.
Wow.
And the police now have us against the wall, the band. And he's wanting answers.
Yeah.
And I finally stepped forward and I said, sir, I'm a 16-year-old kid. What do I know? But I was the guy who set the whole thing up. So nothing happened to us.
Right.
They threw us out.
Yeah.
The firemen locked it and put like a notice.
Yeah.
But we had a secret way in.
Yeah.
So we got back in, took a keg out, got all our money, and then went to the point on Melbourne Causeway and just let the party keep going right there.
Oh man.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Becky was not of that crowd.
I don't think she was there.
She was not of that crowd.
She was doing the right thing.
Well, I would say you were doing the right thing.
Well, me and you would agree.
Oh man, that's such a great story. I knew there'd be some gems in there.
That was a fun one. The
Key West and the up north of the border here, that surprised me. This is not a crazy surprise, but keg parties like that. I was going to UCF later, probably when you guys were doing that, maybe, and I was, and boy, they out on 15. Did you ever go to any of those parties on 15 on Goldenrod?
Well, Goldenrod.
Yeah.
That's where 15 is.
So somebody had a ranch out there, and it wasn't a live band and stuff, but they would jam and music. They had some big ass PA with some big PA speaker type things, and it was somebody's property. And I think you paid whatever money it was back then in the 80s. It was probably $5, and could have been 10. And it's all you can drink. But these guys would go overboard. I don't even know who put it on. I would just be told about it at work. They go, "Hey, there's a gig party on Gold South Rod, heading towards St. Cloud." And but it's still in Orlando proper. It's still in Orange County proper. I don't know if that was Orlando, but you'd go through the gates. It's like those gates you're talking about. And cattle could be raised on this land. It probably was and had been at some point in time. And Marshall, it was massive. It was fucking massive. Did be in like I said, so people from Orlando would just go, right? It wasn't a school or necessarily or a theme like that. There'd be 600 people, 500 people, 400 people, and coming in and out, coming and going. There'd be like 4 kegs. Yeah, it was insane. And it would be, they had music, but a lot of times you were just hanging out with people, talking and meeting people. Yeah, you'd have a girl.
You think they sell keggers today?
God, that's a good idea.
We're too old anymore, but right?
We're totally too old. And if my fucking sidekick Will was on,
he could tell us.
He could tell us. Yeah.
Put that down for Will. Will, have you been to a kegger?
There you go. Will, have you been to a kegger? So let me ask if Braden's on or Natalie or any of these youngsters, Joey, coach, he's the head coach and Will's the assistant coach. He's one of 2 assistant coaches. But they could tell us that's never come up. But because the concept is so old, I haven't thought about
it's as old as we are.
I haven't thought about a kegger, and because what's what they call them? They call them keggers.
Right.
Yeah, but more importantly, you put one on, man. Ah, shit. And what was that band that you would play there? That one you mentioned, that name?
It may have been Risk. The whole reason we're Risk today is because we were Risk back then.
Perfect segue.
And I think it was with an I then. Now it's a Y.
Gotcha. That Y is fucking killer, man. And I have your flyer. Let me show you your flyer of Risk. This is a perfect segue. I'm not joking. So this is the flyers I make and I hang up at work.
Nice.
I hang it up right in my partition, and it says that, if you can read it. Sometimes the visual, I need a better camera, but this has got me through so far. But I've realized there's times where people can't read it. But anyway, the point is, this is you. This was your thing for Pintos. So this
There
is
we are.
Risk with a Y.
And that's Jeff, the one in the bandana.
Yeah.
And that's him right there.
Wow, no shit. Oh man, look at that fucking really. I got to talk to him finally. He was cool as fucking shit.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
He was cool as shit. I go, hey, you're the one I haven't got to talk to yet. And we were at Pintos. I talked to him for like 15 minutes during one of the breaks because he's there with his wife and he's just hanging out. You guys are all running around, disappearing, and Lord only knows. And he was there, and
Now, look at this picture. Jeff and I, in gosh, I don't remember what year. You may not remember. There used to be a recording studio in Melbourne called Hummingbird.
No, I don't.
So Hummingbird was like the only recording studio in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And very early on, they had a compilation album. Everyone could come in and do one song, and they put it on vinyl. They still got a vinyl copy.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't remember who the other two guys were, but Jeff and I did a picture. He found it and did like an AI version of it. Here we go. That's me at 15. Look at my red and yellow outfit.
Dude, you say 15. You look like you're 21 there at least.
Nah, that's probably AI. I think I'm 15 or 16.
No shit. Look at that. So I'm going to guess the babes just came out of the woodwork for a long fucking time.
Well, so early on in my life, of course, I loved the girls. They didn't love me so much. I had a great girlfriend all through high school.
And we do.
Loved her. She was great.
We do that.
But then, as the band started to pick up, I realized that there was going to be an influx of other women.
Yeah.
So I was straight up with my girlfriend in high school and said, I love you, but.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to cheat on you, but it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, man, dude, what a great, that's cool. You know, that says a lot. Honesty, let's face it. Honesty, such a lonely world, right? That's fantastic. And it does happen. So I played, we'll go back to your stuff in this, but I was in our first band was Hobson's Choice. It was a classic rock cover band. And we were doing the nowhere near cover shit like you're doing. The ZZ Top, a couple ZZ Top songs. It was really fun and really good. And we had freaking gifted freaking lead guitars. And he and Nick Kindred both sang like fucking killer, and they harmonized. Nick, oh my God, they were. That band was the most fun band I was ever in. I was in Hobson's Choice, the cover band, and we started Marshall, we started in 93, 94, 93, 94, 93, Hobson's Choice started. And then
That's me. That's me.
Pete, you're gonna take a back burner here, dude.
That's me calling.
Oh.
I guess I hung up when I went to that picture.
Ah. Gotcha.
Sorry.
Turn that off. Turn that back on. I lost Marshall, but you're back on that. Okay.
Yeah, that was my bad.
Okay. Gotcha. I got it. For some reason, I think Pete says Pete Martin, and yours does not. That's the second time it's happened, so I should recognize it if it happens again. Hobson's Choice, 93, 3, and
Is
then
that Brevard?
in Brevard.
Okay.
It was back when Gatsby's Dockside. The big place we ever played was Gatsby's Dockside, and we were playing like the Straw Hat and shit, and Cape Canaveral, and the house parties and stuff. So that's as much as we did with that band. But it was the most fun because it was our first, and we killed a couple of Beatles songs. You know, it was fun as shit. It was fun. And I auditioned. I met a guy at work, and he said, "We're looking for a drummer." And it is a contemporary jazz. So if you remember in the '90s, from like '94 to 2000, contemporary jazz got big. And there was that whole scene in Brevard with Roland Guiarto. He had the record store in Rockledge, and he started the Brevard Jazz Series, bringing like jazz acts to Brevard. Kind of took over from Jeff Simpson, Jeff Simpson's father, probably. And so Roland had that going for like years and years. Well, he knew one of our band members, and they were friends. So he said, "Hey, when these national acts come through, I'm going to have you guys and Jeff Simpson and Demas Sanchez." Demas was beastly drummer back then. Beastly. He went on to work at Universal as a drummer. He was just a call drummer and percussionist.
Nice.
I saw him with the house band. I saw him at the house band at Universal. I made it a point to go over, and Becky and I went, and I said, "We got to go see these guys. It's killer. You'll love the reference." And Demas was the percussionist for this band. The drummer was Liberty DeVito from fucking Billy Joel.
Wow.
And they were the big house band for Universal for several years. And so Demas was the drummer in this insane fucking. They were the best of that whole genre stuff. We were more on the contemporary jazz side, and so was Jeff Simpson, and more on the jazz pure side, Jeff Simpson. But Demas's band, and I can't recall their name. They were the closest thing to a fusion band in Brevard County ever. Oh my God. Wall of sound. Yeah. And Demas was just a beast on the drum set, Marshall. He was so cool. But anyway, so at Universal, he's a percussionist and like pro paid musician there at Universal for years and years and years. It was a Mark Claremont. I remember a name Mark Claremont. Park would have mentioned that. But anyway, I'm segueing. I sometimes I'm better at not going down rabbit holes, but Marshall, the first few episodes, the first 6 or 8 episodes, man, I would go down rabbit trails. And it is, especially with music. So we'll pick it up here, but I caught myself there, and we'll keep going. But man, your stories are fantastic. So essentially, Risk was born out of those days you were talking, and now
I just put a link in a couple in the chat.
Okay,
and the first one is Risk at Brass's.
Okay,
87.
87.
87.
Okay. I'm trying to find it. Kim's on.
You're right in the chat.
Kim from special shout out to Kim from Sanford, Florida. Dear friends of mine and Joe Gretzky, Gretzky's dear friend and co-worker with Joe Gretzky. That's how we know dear Kim. And thank you, because Kim's become, Marshall, I'll ask if you could say a special hello. As of late, when she found out we were doing this in the last month or so, she's on every time. So Kim from Sanford, this is Marshall Ostovich, a fucking great drummer. You want to say hi?
Hello.
Okay. That was fantastic.
Looks like links I put in the private.
Yeah.
It won't let me connect comments.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know. So let's just say this. It would be neat if it pops up.
Can you see the private chat?
Oh, I never look at the private chat. Is there a private chat?
Yes, a private chat comment recording.
Huh. Can you go to the regular ones?
It says join.
The only window that comes up for me is just the chat that people are commenting in. I don't know of another. So
Google
yeah. So Risk. So I'll fast forward, and then we got to talk about somebody's hero, because I got specific questions about who's writing these songs and how do you guys write, and you don't have to go into crazy detail, but anyway, with Risk, you're playing mainly currently. And the first gig there that he mentioned was in June. We're plugging his band Risk.
June 26th at Earl's and Sebastian.
Earl's Hideaway. So I think here's the twist. I think I've never been to Earl's Hideaway, and I just went, and I say just went last 5 months or so ago. I went. Marshall, this like blew my ass away. It popped up on Facebook. I went to Sebastian Beach Inn for the first time. So that's where I'm at. It could have been Hideaway, but I think it was SBI. But anyway.
SBI back in the day.
So I'll come down. I'll go to Earl's Hideaway to see you guys. And part of the reason will be because I've never been to the fucking place.
Oh, you gotta go.
Gotta go. And I'm gonna bring somebody with me. It's tough sometimes trying to drag these people out.
I got in the chat.
Okay. There it is. There it is. Oh shit! So there's a link there. We can.
That is.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's Risk in 87.
Holy shit! So anyway, we'll talk about Risk, and then we should move on to somebody's hero. But let's do that show. I think I've never done a link. I don't know how it pops up. I think it scoots us over to the left and hide. Okay, there's the link. Show. You think you just hit show?
Yeah. It showed the link instead of playing it.
Hopefully, I'm almost fearful to hit this one icon, but it's a QRL code, so that was like a different version of the thing. Here, there's some delete comment, put user type. Hey, look, I've never seen this before. The little 3-bar thing where it'd be a menu of drop down of stuff.
Right.
It says delete comment. I've never seen this before. Delete comment, put user in timeout, or ban user and delete their comments. Wow. Oh. That's kind of good to know. You get some raging fucking somebody's pissed at you. I got to provide my own comment relief since Will's not here, but cool. And Pete's still waiting in the wings. Just sit tight. But so Marshall, so you guys, Risk, really, I think we've ran its course with that band as far as got to go see them because they're covers. Mention again some of the songs or some of the bands you do, just the band. It's fucking, it's killer. But the band,
it does run the gamut.
Yeah.
So we do.
Yeah.
Bryan Adams, Black Sabbath, Collective Soul, Def Leppard, Dio, Dishwalla, Dokken, Foo Fighters, Fuel, Gin Blossom, Godsmack, Don Henley, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, Jury, Judas Priest,
Oh my
Kiss,
God.
Led Zeppelin, Nirvana, Ozzy, Pink Floyd, Poison, Prince, Queensryche, Scorpions, Skid Row, Styx, The Toadies, Stone Temple Pilot, Tonic, Toddy Two-Tone, U2,
So
Van Halen, White Snake.
Yeah, White Snake. Yeah,
To name a few.
But so those bands, Marshall, you said so many, and I was like, you guys really do an STP? Please do STP for me. And you were gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, Vaseline.
And your guys' sound, so Risk's sound live is fucking epic. It's just fucking epic. It's just
we got Jeff and Sean, both shredding guitar players, and great vocalists, and Steve Harvey, great vocalist, and I can squeak that thing or two out.
You do. Marshall sings a bit. Does the Triumph thing a couple times.
Yeah, right.
Right.
They're touring again, right?
They are.
I think they're coming here.
They are. Triumph was coming. In Orlando.
April Wine's opening.
Yeah. Yeah. Who is?
April Wine.
Oh my God. I think I saw April Wine along the way.
I did.
Open for somebody. Right. It's like 30.
I saw them headline.
Yeah. Because they had a big hit. They had a couple big hits.
Sign of the Gypsy Queen. Just Between You and Me.
Oh my God.
And Risk does that one.
Really? So Marshall, it turns out I'm definitely coming to Earl's Hideaway to hear some other songs because I've only seen you twice, and you would have played some of those for sure, for without a doubt. You played some of those that you just read off.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, it is fucking class fucking act. It is so good, and your sound is so good. You guys are so good as individual players. It's fucking killer, man. It really is. First time I saw you was Cadillac Cove with Risk, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Or the second time. And I might have seen you a third time at Pintos with Risk. I love that band. I fucking love that band. And I told Becky, I said, you got to come and you got to see this. I tried to get her to go to Pintos, I think. And I'm trying to think if she was here. She took a trip. Anyway, bottom line is one day I'm going to show up with Becky. Bottom line. She's got to see that. It's so fucking cool. And you dance, half of this shit you can dance to, not all of the stuff that you just mentioned.
Yeah. We do dance stuff too.
Yeah, they do dance stuff, and man, people just come out of the woodwork. I at Cadillac Cove, I got up and danced, and I used to come by myself all these things anymore, and I always have here in the last year or so, but. Yeah, at Cadillac Cove, I got up and danced. They have that killer dance floor, and it's all, the lights and shit, and it's all cool, the way it's lit up and the way the stage is lit up. And I felt compelled, like, I'm going to fucking go out there and dance by myself. Hopefully it wasn't embarrassing, but.
That's the Billy Idol song, isn't it?
Maybe.
Dancing with Myself.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, folks, go see Risk. Kim, get these losers from fucking Sanford over here one time. But actually, they need to see Somebody's Hero. So we're going to move on to Somebody's Hero. So where did that incubate with, hey, we're doing originals and we're going to be in this niche, in this sound, and we're going to write these songs? How did that incubate?
It started with Steve Harvey.
Wow.
He and Darren were in a band called Who Was I?
Wow.
And they had broken up. And Steve lost his father. And he wrote a couple songs about that. And he, from there, he's like, he had to have these songs, and he started writing some others. He's like, well, actually, I think he played it for Darren. And Darren's like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
So they called, you want to rock? Yeah. And then we got bass player, Roderick, who has since left. He's now with Lydia Can't Breathe.
Wow. What band? What band?
He just left with Lydia Can't Breathe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, they're a local band.
Gotcha.
And we just started writing songs, and they started falling out. And I put a couple links in the chat for those.
Okay, that we have to hear. That I'm more intrigued listening to that by far, because I love every song you guys do with Somebody's Hero. The fun thing was the Ace Cafe or something. Did you guys? Where were you in Sanford? Weren't you?
Yeah, Ace Cafe.
Ace Cafe. So I go over. That's the last time. That was my favorite hang locally ever so far. Was that night?
I like what they did there.
Death Effects, and yeah. Oh my God, they kind of semi-headline there. There was a headliner after Death Effects who like blew everybody away. Like, well, his drum set's not as big as some of the others, and they're from out of town. And fuck, those guys are incredible.
Right.
They were incredible. But I love Death Effects, and I stay in touch with them.
Great band.
And I talked to one of them and said, I want to interview you guys. So, and the guy said yes at the time, but it was at Ace Cafe. That was about 6 weeks ago, maybe approximately.
Right.
It was fun as shit. I love that trip, and I have friends I can stay with over in Sanford. I got several friends over there, and I stay the night, so I don't have to drive back. It's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was so fun. That was my favorite hang of all the times I've gone to see bands and bars since last fucking July. That was the coolest. Because I was seeing you guys, and then I knew I was going to see Death Effects. I saw them once in Melbourne on 192 at a little strip mall bar. And I said, I'm going to go see like a metal show. And they're like, boom, they popped up on Facebook. And so I went. Well,
was that at Slingers? Because that was with us. Yeah, we played there.
Right.
They opened for us.
Yeah.
That was our show.
Maybe so. That would have been the first time yeah. Maybe I'm confused. But anyway, so needless to say, I'm halfway into this bottle of wine and I'm confused. But I think it was called Slingers on 192. And anyway, I do remember that the bar, explain that bar. It's half and half.
Yeah.
It's half and half. It's weird. So picture my brother's gay, and I hung out in Atlanta at some really fucking cool clubs in Atlanta with my brother. And so I'd seen the big time thing there, and this was like more of this cool ass bar and more of a local thing. And I was like, oh, no shit. And so I'd go over there and hang out, and you get away from the speakers there if they're, getting pretty toasty and loud. And it's where the games are, like darts and pool. And I watched that night, Marshall, I went over there and take a little break from the sound. And there was this couple playing pool. And I've never seen this in my life, guy and girl. And wow, they were. It was like a soft porn pool match between these two, but they kept their clothes on.
Right.
It was fucking wild. I'm like, wow. So anyway, folks, if you want to check out the kind of the edgier side of life, it's that bar. I think Sliders. I think it's the same one we're talking about, but
it's on Wickham and 192.
Okay. The one I was at is more down on 192. It wasn't at the corner of anything. It wasn't at the corner of a crossroad. Yeah. Anyway, bottom line, we're talking the same places and similar things, but that's when I saw Death Effects for the first time. But the problem was because it was in the strip mall and there were cops outside. There was a cop like fucking sitting in his car the whole fucking time, making everybody paranoid. The noise ordinance thing. So they couldn't, there was a lot of compression and they couldn't really, they couldn't turn it up like I wanted to hear. And that's, I would have come to see you guys anyway in Sanford, but I wanted to, I said, I want to see Death Effects with full on fucking sound. And my gosh, it's one of the times I went and made my homemade earplugs from tissue from the bathroom. And I do that on occasion if it's that loud. That sound system fucking rocked. Ace was cool as shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
They used to be over right up I-4 downtown Atlanta. There was like 2 levels.
Yeah.
Which I like because you play on the stage and there's a crowd down here and up here.
Had you played at the first one?
One time.
Wow. No shit, man. You guys are still doing it. Fuck. You're doing it big time. Wow. I had heard that and did it move. I did. That they were on I-4 originally. Where are my glasses? Here. I'm it looks better with the glasses kind of. But wow, Marshall, you guys, man. That's so cool.
I put some links in the chat for a few of our songs.
Okay.
Somebody's here, so people can check those out.
Okay, links. Now, I should be able to do that. So if Will was here, he'd say, Phil, grab the thing and
just copy and paste it into a browser at least. But I don't know how you show it.
I wouldn't show it, but at least we could hear it. So we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that. And if it comes on, I may run just wait like a third of the time it took me last time. I may run to the little boys' room, but smoking in the bond, but run to the restroom. Okay.
It says I can share.
When I hover over it, it says show, and then it shows the link. Maybe
what's that?
Maybe
Did you see that?
Yeah. I see that. That's cool as shit. Who is that?
Play?
Keep it high. This is where Will could help out. Yeah. Add the stage. Perfect. Here we go. This will play, and I'm going to run to the boys' room. And then we just need audio. I don't know if it's on your side.
I've got audio going.
Yeah. You can hear it? Oh, my God. Darren. Look at Darren. Yeah. StreamYard is so cool. That's
You're not hearing it, huh?
I'm not hearing it over the maybe I need, you know what? Maybe I need my headphones. This might be where I actually need the headphones. If I can find the headphones. Damn, did I walk off of them? The visuals killer. This is somebody's hero. That's Darren, the lead singer. There's Steve. Marshall's behind Darren. Check you out. Oh my God. You guys, you're total rock stars, man. I've never seen this. It's cool as shit. It's almost more important that they see it because you can only imagine what it sounds like.
I'm surprised you can't hear it.
Oh my God. Maybe it's on my end.
But you can't hear me either. Right.
But the video is more important than the audio right now. I think they can get it actually leads a lot to the imagination. Like, wow, this has got to be heavy as fuck. And it's heavy as fuck. Are you Sabian? Are you mainly Sabian?
Yeah. I can hear it good. I got to turn it down.
If you can turn it up, it might bleed over into wherever your mic.
But I got my headphones on.
Gotcha. Let me find my headphones. Maybe. Well, bottom line is, if you can't hear it, if we can't hear it over the phone, then people can't hear it. But dude, look at this. Who did this video?
I can try this.
Who?
Yeah, we did it ourselves and edited ourselves.
Did you really? You guys produced it all yourselves. Darren's badass, man. Hey, there's no other singer better in Brevard County than that dude. He's fucking. That was your Neil Peart riff there. Some heavy fucking song. It's heavy. Bottom line, folks, if you see somebody's hero, it's heavy. It's in your face. There's Darren's voice, kind of a Rob Halford, Judas Priest voice. Man, this is really fucking good. How this wasn't crazy long ago.
No, within the year.
This is what I see when I see you guys. So cool. And you got the rack. Talk about you went to the rack some years ago, and what a practical thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Ace?
I ordered my drum set back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a Thomas Superstar.
Okay.
Superstar. Ordered it from Japan.
Yeah.
Got it, loved it. Went to Ace Music in Orlando a couple years later.
Mm-hmm.
They had my drum set on the rack. And I was like, I'm buying the rack.
Wow.
And I've had a rack ever since.
Gotcha. And wow, that is so cool. Park played with a rack for 20 years. He had a rack. And I never did. So that tells you where Marshall is compared to where I am.
We have this song that you say somebody's here is in your face.
Yeah.
We are. But this song's a little softer.
Yeah.
It's got its rockin' parts.
Sure. It's great. Yeah. Closest thing to a power ballad for you guys.
Yeah. Kinda.
Look at the imagery, man. This is so cool. Gosh, I'm so glad we went on. My gosh. You guys are creative. Look at that. There's Marshall. There's Steve crunching away. There's your fucking bass player fucking ripping it. God.
And it's a cool concept because the verses and chorus are in white like this.
Yeah.
But then there's a breakdown that's heavy and it all goes black.
There's Marshall fucking smashing it out. Yeah, look at that. So I said, Sabian, what the fuck am I talking about? That was an A custom Zildjian there. That I have something very similar. You probably have thicker ones because you hit them harder. Marshall.
I'm always breaking crash cymbals.
Wow. I broke one in my whole life. So that again shows you the difference.
I broke one this year.
Wow.
Now I've had the same ride cymbal forever.
Yeah.
22-inch Sabian ride.
Nice. Sabians, they ting away. Yeah, they do as rides. They really do. Boom. Man, Darren's so fucking cool. There's Steve.
Yeah, they both sing a lot in this one. Kind of Steve sings almost a lead part.
God. Oh man, this is so cool. Hey, keep that going and then hit another one if I don't, but let me run to the little boy's room.
You got it.
Thanks. The visuals are killer, man. It's so cool.
Another chapter in your life with the start of something new, but it's all up to you to do. I believe in you, but it's never enough. Where usually takes time. If I walk away, I walk away. If I look back, please don't follow. I need you to hurt when you hear my face. More than my if I walked away.
Sorry, no. Oh, Marshall's super cool, man. Ah, look at that.
I wish you could hear it. I'm rocking out to it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, that just leaves them guessing, going. I think I
They got the link. So, and again, you can hear all these on
Look at that. There's
Amazon or Spotify or Apple Music.
Okay. So, folks, you see, wow. Marshall, you're turned out to be like a producer kind of guy that can do this stuff, showing that link like that. I don't know how to do that. I almost need an assistant, but
Where is Will?
so he once the interviews start, he sometimes he participate because and I say once they start, like if it's an interview, he goes, hey, he's going to be talking to some guy for an hour. So yeah, and that's his prerogative. He's fine. He's a busy guy. Love him to death. Will is good people. He's cool as shit. There's no doubt about that. What, Marshall? So wow. Yeah. So when do you guys have next? Wow, look at that. Gosh. Man, you guys do a great job with these videos. I did get the bass player in that band was the guy I've talked to the least, but I have talked to him and he's cool as shit. I think his wife was there at Dunes or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. They were great people. Steve, I love talking to Steve. He's so cool, and he wants to talk music. What's great about this, Marshall, with this whole thing, and it's really offered me the opportunity. I've never had the opportunity before, especially at the local band level. And I say local band level, you guys are playing Earl's Hideaway in fucking Indian River County, so it's not only local. And I have a music background and musician's background and all the folks. Anyway, I can talk intelligently to any of these guys about music, and they instantly start talking to you. All of them, every one of them. I've never had one that goes, "Hey, I gotta go get a beer." Yeah, the Death Effects guys, same thing.
Hey, we're just happy when anyone likes us. They like us. They like us. That's what it's all about.
That's fantastic. This video is, look at that. Man, you guys do a great job with this shit. I'm surprised. Like, did you ever let me ask, have you ever, this is a great question. There's Q&A. I'll have some questions. Have you ever go, hey, we're going to send this to somebody in Los Angeles in the hopes that they'll invite us to NAMM or hey, come play in our club.
That's the hard part.
Right. Like you have to have a connection, a contact. Yeah.
You hope someone sees it and says, hey.
Yeah. Right. Randomly. Yeah. you're at the mercy of kind of randomness of some guy, because
Yeah.
there's. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
There'd be A&R guys that have to sit there and peruse fucking YouTube and whatever other platforms that do this, that play this kind of stuff, and sits there and go, hey, guess what? These fuckers are. I mean, if I saw you guys, if I saw this, and you heard the sound and everything, and I was in Los Angeles, I'd say, hey, we got a club. We can't pay you a ton of money, but we can cover your expenses. Come out here and play for a week. And we have this like thing going for a week. That's what you guys, that I could see that easily, and totally entertaining those fucking Los Angeles MFers. Anyway, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to be like an opening slot for a big band or something.
Right. Now, the twist would be is if somebody in this band's got a day job, and possibly all of you do, so then you got that burden that hey, just take a week off, just set it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'd be up against that. This kind of stuff I'd like to talk about. If something like that was to transpire, you could, like if it was NAMM, it's so far in advance that you would know when it is and go, hey, everybody needs to take the week off here to do this, or half the week, because you'd only be there. So guess what, Marshall, you'll love this. I didn't bring up NAMM for any particular reason other than most musicians know what it is in Los Angeles. And part band League of Nations, they did get invited out there and they played at NAMM. So they did reach that level step.
Yeah.
They did. And it was totally. I think it was like a guitar string endorsement thing. I think Scott's the band leader and the featured player, the lead guitarist. It's all instrumental stuff. They do a bunch of Eric Johnson, and they do it very well. And Scott fucking does it very well on guitar. Jeez. I have a video, Marshall. I have to set you up with that video. That's the one thing I'm going to write down right now. And you have to see this video that they did at Full Sail. They did it at Full Sail. God, around 2000. I'm going to go on a limb and say.
Well, funny you should say that.
Have you done Full Sail? Oh man.
Yeah, I think you had gone to the bathroom.
Full Sail.
Oh, so I got a video. Watch this one.
Oh man, it's a school. Full Sail basically produces everybody in sound and audio production.
All right, and this one will be funny because I have long hair.
It's a school in East Orlando. It's Orlando off of Conway. It's off of I know where it is, but Forsyth and all that shit. But, oh my God.
So, yeah, this is probably
93. Oh my God. Yeah, the height of when. So this is Full Sail. Yeah.
Full Sail.
So Park and them did a video. So you already checked that box.
And there's Jeff right there from Risk.
Jeff and wow.
And there's me.
Oh my God. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my God, this is so cool. This is like the best. I'm having the
funny story about this one. There's a quick flash during the guitar solo of like a firebomb.
Yeah.
We had planned to dig a trench around the guitar player. I think it was Jeff. He's going to play the solo with fire going. Well, as we lit the fire, the other guitar player was still spraying the lighter fluid in there. It chased him up into the lighter fluid bottle.
Right.
It explodes.
Oh my
It catches all these bushes on fire. We had a hose to put it out. The girlfriend of the guitar player panics, runs, trips, rips the hose out. Now the fire's going crazy. There. You see it?
Ah.
For about 2 minutes, I thought we were going to burn the neighborhood down.
Wow. Wow. So they would have instituted new pyro rules after that.
I think they did. The teacher was just like, holy shit. But he signed off on it.
Look at you, man. So let me ask, like in that shot with you playing, you know, you look like Terry Bozzio with your actual like physical thing a little bit.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, Terry Bozzio.
I know you're talking back when he had the long hair with
Zappa days. And I Park got to see that in Orlando. He saw Zappa. I won't go into that story because it breaks my heart and I'd probably cry. Park called me and said, Phil, come see Zappa. He doesn't come very often. And I was busy at UCF and I just couldn't. And I said, Park, man, I can't make it. It's a regret to this day. And I think Bozzio may have been drumming. Chad Wackerman maybe. But it was with like Warren Cucurella days, or I don't know what it was. Yeah.
I loved it. Some of my favorites, Zappa.
Yeah. You know, he was, Zappa was like, this is perfect. Zappa was like Miles Davis in that they would take these young players and turn them into monsters. And Zappa did the very same thing for rock and roll and fusion. He took Steve Vai, and he took, you know, Vinnie Colaiuta, and he took Bozzio, and all these guys over time, over decades, and Miles for decades and decades, and they would pump out these insane fucking players, and most of those guys would would start when they were 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and they were very young, and Miles did the same thing, you know, till he stopped, you know. Wow. Oh man, Marshall, that was. We've been on for an hour and 57 minutes. We're still Pete. If dear Pete still was hanging on, I'm going to mainly just Pete. I'm going to mainly just feature your thing for the Rockville, and I'll talk Rockville. But Marshall, that was fantastic.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the time. Check out those links where you can hear them.
Yeah, and I as well. Talk to Steve and talk to Darren and see if they want. We won't talk about your guy with Risk. Oh my God, that young kid! Holy fuck, that kid!
Oh, and Risk, John. Oh yeah,
that was unreal. But
yeah, I mean, him and Jeff
talk
together
to Steve
is just
and
phenomenal.
Darren in the next,
yeah,
before the end of the year,
this.
Let's have all you guys on, or as many that could be there.
Oh, I hung up again. Apparently.
Cool. All right. Well, this will be the end.
That's me calling.
Night. Gotta go. Good show and really enjoyed being introduced. Kim gave a shout out and said thanks for getting to meet you.
I think we hung up Kim, phone again.
Cool. Okay, Rockville. So Marshall, will you can hang out if you wish, and actually you probably want to see Pete do this. At least hang out long enough for see Pete do this. I picked a song from a band I saw at Rockville tonight, and it's new to me, and I love it, and it's really different. It's not your crunchy rock, but boy, we saw a bunch of them. And so I'm going to be talking about Rockville, but first I'm going to let Pete do his thing because he's been patiently waiting. If he's still there, I got to text him. So hang out if you can and do that. My phone died, so that's never good. Hang on for a second. I got to run and get the cord. Hang on. Hey, sorry, no. We got a late start. We started at 8 o'clock. Gotta go through the steps. Gotta go through the steps. This thing's about ready to drive me crazy. There's my headphone. I don't need them at this point. Cool. I'll get this going. We'll get Pete going. Get Pete, Guitar Pete Martin. If it's 10 o'clock, he's still awake. Or he said, you know, I can only wait so long. Fuck Phil. That's a possibility. So Marshall, Pete and I have known each other. I just, and Pete goes, or whoever, but basically I've known Pete as long. I met Pete around the same time I met Becky. It would have been, Pete might be right that I've known him longer. So anyway, I've known Pete that long, and he's a dear friend. I helped him get 2 bands started. What I would do, Marshall, is I would help him get bands started, and then once they were going to go start playing out, they would get another drummer. Because at that point, I was like, I'm not lugging my shit around anymore. So, right, my phone died, so I can't hear you until it powers back up. My bad. I didn't notice it was below 5% earlier. It won't take long, but I know you'll appreciate that. Yeah, I helped him get a couple bands started. But so check it out. Before I helped him get 2 bands started, Pete and I met, and Pete reminded me of this, possibly when we were, anyway, we met because a guy named Eddie Fritz. It was the Eddie Fritz band. And I drummed for Eddie Fritz. And a lot of local players played with Eddie over in those days. It would be the mid 90s. Yeah, around mid 90s to 2000 and before that. But anyway, I met Pete in Eddie's rehearsal deal, and we went out and played with Eddie. He did great covers. It was classic rock covers, but he would do great shit. And Marshall, you get a kick out of this. One time so I played with him for about a year or so with Pete, and then Pete and I have been friends ever since. But one time I'm on stage, he actually calls me and says, "Phil, our drummer can't make it. And I was in chemistry during these. I was in that jazz band, and he said, "Is there any way you can play like Friday night?" The guy, it was the day of. He goes, "It's tonight. Is there any way you could sub?" And I go, "Hey, so happens I'm totally free." And back then, you know, it was sometime in the 90s. I'm like, "Hell yeah, man!" So I loaded my shit up and went down there. And at this point, I hadn't been with him for over a year or two. Well, you know, he's on different songs and stuff, and still some of the ones. So he probably focused on the ones he knew I knew. But that I know you've done this, and all drummers have. You're on stage, they go, "We're gonna play this," and you go, "I've never even heard that fucking song," and right, and you go, "Okay," and it's 4/4. It's you know, medium tempo. It's a rock thing. It's a ballad thing. And you launch into, and Eddie would do that on that night and it's the most exhilarating feeling you can have as a drummer to start it and then pull it off. It's such a feeling of exhilaration. You're just like, oh my God, I don't even know this fucking song. You know, and they tell you like there's no breaks or there's a break or There's a bridge, there's no bridge, and you're just playing it real time. But Eddie was that guy, and oh my God, those are great days. But okay, I'm at 4% already, so I'm powering the phone up. We'll get Marshall back and pull Pete in. I can't pull Pete in until I get this thing going. Okay. So we're at 2 hours and 5 minutes, very long, but well worth every second of it. Folks, if you don't want to hear about Rockville, you don't have to, and you can hang up and you can drop off. But I'm here to tell you, oh my gosh, it was Friday that I saw, and it was the greatest single musical experience I've ever witnessed. And Pete's going to play a song from the band Turnstile, and I asked him to break down the chordal structure for this song. The band that I never knew of until Friday night, and have become one of my favorites. And I've been just binging the shit out of these guys since Saturday. Oh my God, Turnstile! And it turns out Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters loves them also, because he plucked them out. You're going to open for us, and it wasn't planned that way. It was really cool. All right, I'm just gonna call Pete. He tried to call me so many times, or it was several times, not so many, but he called me several times. So like I say, he could just be mad. I gotta get
Hello, you've reached the cell phone of Peter Martin of American Income Life and Martin School Music. Please leave your name and brief message. I'd like to return your call. Thank you for calling, and I hope you have a great day.
Pete, I'm ready to bring you on, man. Sorry it's drug out. If you're still able and up for it, I would love to hear your thing. I would love to hear your thing. I really want to hear the thing. So I owe you. Hey, I got you. Pete came over Saturday. Marshall, Becky and Brooke were over in Disney World, for like a end of the year celebration for Brooke from university. And so I had like 3 days. So Saturday I said, Pete, come over and watch It Might Get Loud. Marshall, have you seen It Might Get Loud?
Nuh-uh.
All right, I'm no longer talking to. I'm gonna call Marshall here. There we go. Sorry, I'm calling you now. Cool. Hey.
Hey,
Have you ever seen It Might Get Loud?
I have not.
Okay. It turns out you must, and you will love it so much. And I'm sure Steve has seen it because it's really guitar. It's really guitar centric. It is fucking guitar centric. It's Jimmy Page, Jack White, and The Edge from U2.
I did see it.
Yeah. And so anyway, Pete came over Saturday or Sunday and watched that with me, and we had a ball. It was great. But
That's good.
yeah, and he didn't answer, so he may be out. In which case, I'll just maybe describe some Rockville shit. Hang out if you would, please. That would be cool to have some feedback. But yeah. So I may have lost Pete, and we can do it again. So sometimes, like if something gets skipped or missed for whatever reason, it oftentimes the reason's me. But you could just pick it up on the next episode. So. And during the shoot the shit thing, you like bring stuff like that in you missed. And actually, you know what? Because here's the deal. Because Will's not here and he was more than half of the Rockville part and Pete's not here, who was going to play the song. I may just do a 5-minute overview of these bands and call it quits because it's been a long one. But
you can get that on your episode 25.5.
25.5. which is either my brother or it's Led Zeppelin. So yeah, but anyway, so Marshall go to Rockville for the first time on last Friday. I do have a sheet for this. I know this is one of my main sheets. Sheet B. So here's the notes. So these are Friday. So this is kind of the flyer for the different nights. And I went Friday with Foo Fighters headline. But Foo Fighters, it was incredible, but there's so many bands. Here's Zach. So the headliners for each stage, Zach Sabbath, Seven Dust, I can't read that name, Turnstile, and then Foo Fighters. So that I went Friday, and all these bands underneath there, those little letters. But so Marshall, here's typically what my sheet really looks like. This is the sheet that I prepared for the stuff we saw, the stuff I saw,
Right.
with Will and his friend Anthony. Let me just cut through it real quick and make it quick, and I'll do a more formal version with Will next week because he was with me with his friend Anthony. What a cool guy he is. But it started so Marshall, you'll actually love this. It's so the first band we saw, we got in at noon and we left at 12:30 at night. With that 2.5 hour rain lightning delay where we did leave. So we were there a long fucking time. But the first band I saw on the first stage to the right there, the one that Zach Wild played on, it was this band I never heard. And obviously, like, I just got in and this band's playing and they sound really good from a distance. So I'm like, hey, I'm just going to walk that way. So they were called Spirit World. And they're from Vegas. So it turns out Vegas has this music scene going on. Let me add, I went to Earth Day Birthday like 4 weeks ago. And there's a female, these two sisters from Vegas. They're called the Pretty Wild. Well, they're into this. They claim it's like a new genre, and it's called new rock. And new is spelled N-U.
Like new metal.
Yeah, like new metal. Right. So new rock. And it's kind of this Vegas thing. Well, anyway, so this band has no relation to their sound, but they were called Spirit World. They're dressed to the nines in I'm liking it more towards like an Arizona country look, with kind of semi suits on, a couple of cowboy hats and shit kind of look. So their look was awesome. But Marshall, this band, it was one of my favorite memories because it was so unique and cool. Picture if ZZ Top started 5 years ago in Vegas and they're all like 35 years old. And it's a modern day version of ZZ Top. That's what they sounded like. It was unreal. So anyway, the band was called Spirit World. They're from Vegas. So it turns out Vegas has a music scene that's kind of popping out artists right now, is my takeaway for sure. So that was the first one I saw, and they blew me away. And I'm like, oh man. And I know who I'm gonna be here shortly. Never heard of them until I walked in the gate. Sick Puppies. So I told you at the beginning, nobody left would be even remember this because they're not left still, I'm sure. Anyway, Sick Puppies, who I saw first time in 2016 at Earth Day Birthday. I've been waiting ever since then to see them, almost like 8 years later. And it was just the coolest. They've over 8 years, they've gotten so professional and so good live. sounds better. Emma Ensign, the bass player, the monster fucking bass player. I have a quick segue on her, but they just were better than I've ever seen them and could imagine they could get. Turns out Marshall Ensign, the bass player for Sick Puppies, got picked up in the last year by Evanescence. So she's now Evanescence's bass player, and the reason is, the reason she's there is that Sick Puppies have opened for Evanescence before, but Emma does backup vocals in band Sick Puppies, and with the harmonies, she basically harmonizes behind the guy lead singer in Sick Puppies. Well, she for Evanescence, for Amy Lee, the front chick, the fucking powerhouse thing. I think it probably kicked both our asses. She's in that same register, and so she basically is helping Amy sing these songs because Amy's 12 years her senior, approximately, maybe 15 years her senior, and Emma's voice is awesome. She's from Australia. Sick Puppies were originally from Australia. It was 2 Australians with one guy from LA. And the drummer, Mark, is from LA. I've got a pair of his drumsticks. I got a broken pair of his drumsticks that he sent. I love Sick Puppies. And so I got emotional and I cried twice while they were playing. I got to move on. Non-Point. And I'll just blast through this because we got to end this. It's very late. Or it's been going on forever. And I think Will and I will just cover this separately, but I saw Non-Point. Person at work looked at the roster and said, "Oh, Non-Point, they're from Miami. I used to see them in clubs." Oh my geez. Of course, I'm listening to them. Listen to a song from Non-Point called I got it on my play. I put it on my playlist. I can't think of the title of the song, but it was, listen to Non-Point. Oh my gosh. And then it was Dope, Edsel Dope, who is the lead singer also for Static X, that when he gets made up. In the band Dope, he's Edsel Dope. It's a trio, just freaking Marshall. Dope with it's an industrial edge sound. There's industrial, certainly a half industrial sound to them, which I love industrial music. A la Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails kind of the industrial. But he's not that sophisticated with the industrial part. It's more just a 3-piece rock group that's basically going to just melt your face is what they do live. So I saw Dope. And that was a highlight of the whole thing. I actually have it highlighted in orange. It was awesome. Then we had the rain delay. And there was a rain delay. And then we saw, after that, I'll just say, we saw in order, we saw Offspring do a whole set. Offspring, actually, when we got in there, Offspring had just started. So the Offspring. And they were doing all their killer shit. These stages are so sophisticated and modern, and the sound is so good. So Marshall, I don't know if you've been where, and I'm sure you have, because I think you've seen this before. For rock, I've never seen this before. Where they know that the stage, it's a rectangular shape where the band's at the far end there, the one end, and it's a rectangle, like a kind of a football field shape situation. And they know that in the bigger acts and the bigger stages that enough people are going to come where they need a extra set of those angled hanging speaker stacks that they use. Right. They have a second set of those halfway back for the people that are going to be joining that. And some of them are just glad. And boy, I did that about half the time. I would stay back there, and with those big ass screens, you can see the band so well, and you see them on stage. But then you got these screens, and they're like big, larger than life on those screens, even that far back. And you've got a separate set of speakers back there. And that's, and of course, it's a smoking area too, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God. So Offspring, and of course, I got closer for Offspring. Blistering killer set, sounded better than ever. Stage was better than ever. Light show and the visual effects. And so once Offspring started, then the fireworks started. So it could be they pick a certain song and it's all timed. Pyro, right side next to the stage. Fireworks. It started with Offspring. And then when Turnstile played, so Turnstile came on before Foo Fighters. And I'd never heard this band in my life and never heard of them and never heard them and didn't know what. So, and all I know is, wow, there's a strange third band put in between Offspring and Foo Fighters because of the rain scenario. And I thought it's because they got rained out and they must be good. Never heard of them. Oh my Lord. They were, blew my mind. After like the first song, I'm going, what? And the second song, third song, I was like, what? Marshall, I literally said to myself, I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't know what this sound is. It's so weird. It's so beautiful. They have half heavy, fast songs and half Floydish, modern Floydish, spacey, obviously, THC, territory. And I've been listening to them since Saturday. And Pete was going to play, what Pete was going to do was play a song called, I don't have it in front of me here. Pete was I asked him to do the first third of that to hear the melodies and shit. And you get an idea exactly of like kind of what it is. He's been teaching forever and he can listen. He listened to it. I said, Pete, it was like Monday. I said, hey, can you check this out and just do like the first third before the heavy shit comes in? And he texted me back 30 minutes later. He said, Phil, it's a 4-chord pop song. And here I am just cracking up. But when you hear the song, it's I'm going to leave us with that. I'm going to find that song and leave us with that. And then people can hear that, and then maybe we revisit Rockville next week. Maybe we have to move on. But it was a life-altering experience. I suggest anybody go. I'd pick one day. I couldn't do it for more than one day, really, because you're there 12 hours. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. When you went, let me ask, so that was it for me. When you went, where did you go for somebody in particular and saw a bunch of?
I went 2 years ago for the Pantera reunion, I guess you could call it.
Oh my God, Pantera!
They're great.
Oh my gosh, and so Marshall, what that says so much about the two bands you're in, because you went to Rockville last to see Pantera.
Right.
That's cool as shit. Wow. Okay. Well, we might leave it at that. Man, that's cool. I would love to see that. I never listened to Pantera. I was not into the metal and the speed metal stuff because I was actually going through my jazz phase at the time. And at the NSLD back back in like 2004, 2005, met some younger people there. One of them, Sean Morton's one of my best friends to this day. Sean and Erica. And Erica she loved Pantera. So we go to lunch one day, and the NSLD was out at Cocoa Beach. That it used to be the Craig Technologies building after, and then it became a storage facility. But I was there 10 years. And anyway, we go to lunch, like, because we were all into rock music. And Erica was into Pantera. And she goes, Phil, you better put on Pantera. It was the first time I heard them. And Dimebag.
I love her already.
Dimebag, and oh my gosh. Yeah. Steve, I told Steve the first time I was able to talk to him, you're in your band, Steve Harvey. I said, Steve, you remind me of Dimebag Darrell. What do you think of that?
That's a compliment.
He grinned and kind of took the reference, and I think he just thought it was a compliment, but boy, it was.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe that's like the best note to sign off on, because yeah. So people go see Marshall's bands, Somebody's Hero and Risk. You can't go wrong. It doesn't cost a lot to get in. Turns out it doesn't cost anything. But definitely buy a beverage of your choice and tip the bartenders and waitresses.
All right, my friend. Well, I appreciate the time.
All right, Marshall.
And the support.
Thanks. Your video shit was just fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, click on it so you can listen.
So when we hang up, I'll go to the porch and I'll debrief and I'll decompress. I won't debrief. I'll decompress with a glass of wine and a cigarette.
Don't play too loud. I don't want Becky mad at me.
Now it's certainly that time where I have to keep it down for sure. Man, Marshall, thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
This was the best interview because of the audio quality is the best so far. You get people that come on. Even Park's volume was a little low, and I said, hey, scoot up, and he scooted up, and it sounded better. But then after a while, you lose track. And it was the same thing with Carolyn. I was using the phone, but she seemed further away. So this was the best interview.
Because I'm a loud man, Phil.
Man, thank God you are. All right, Marshall, that was so fun.
Cheers to you, my friend.
If I don't see you before Earl's Hideaway, adios.
We'll see you there, my friend.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. You can hang up, and I'll figure out how to disconnect here. Cool. Marshall's gone. He can hear. And all right, folks, 2 hours and 20 minutes marathon session. Hope you liked it. Don't know if we have anybody else left, but that's okay. What I think is going to happen is somebody in Los Angeles is going to see this episode and go, wow, I think they really got something. Not likely. Of all 42, we're up to 42 subscribers, which I think is awesome. And thank you all for the subscription or subscribing and checking it out. And Jorge and Kim and Mitch for sure. And anybody else that was on. Thanks for tuning in. And that's it. It's a wrap. Take care. Good night. Got to hit the second button and it won't stop.